I'm Abby. Welcome to my New York City kitchen, where today we're making butternut beet salad. It's going to be super delicious. I'm pairing it with an apple maple Dijon vinaigrette. It's gonna be great. So the first thing we wanna do is cook our beets and cook our butternut squash. So here I have a beet. It's a golden beet. You can also use red beet or candy stripe beets, but I wanna show you how I like to cook them. So for each beet, I've taken off the greens and washed it, and then I have a piece of foil. So I'm gonna wrap it in the foil, and you're gonna do that for each of the beets. There'll probably be about 3 beets for this recipe, and we're gonna cook it along with our butternut squash, and it steams and cooks right in this foil packet, and then I'll show you when it's done cooking how to get the skin off and what to do next. So we're gonna put that on the side here. Then we have a sheet pan and a parchment paper. You can also use foil. I'm gonna do that. And then I have just bite-sized chunks of butternut squash. I'm gonna put some oil on there and some salt and pepper. And I have the oven at 425. A little salt and pepper, and we're gonna mix it all together. We're gonna put it out on our sheet pan in a single layer, like so. So it takes up, probably this half of the sheet pan, and then we'll line up our beets on the other side. And it's gonna go into the oven for about 30 minutes. You can toss it halfway through. And then depending on the size of your beets, if for this size I have here, I probably wanna cook them about 45 minutes. For smaller beets, the 30 minutes will be fine. So let's put these into the oven. Okay, so when you have your cooked butternut squash, like we have here, you can see it's nice and golden brown. And then our beets, so this is what the beet will look like when you've unwrapped it. And then that skin slides right off. You can see how easily that comes right off. And then you can run it under cold water. Sometimes that helps do it at the same time. But came right off, and then we're just gonna dice that up. So you can see we've got our diced beets here ready to go. Okay, so we have our beets, we have our cooked butternut squash. I have a large bowl here, so in go the beets and the butternut squash. I have cooked farro here, so we're gonna add that as well. I like farro because it holds its shape and its texture really well. So in a salad like this, which you can serve cold, which is what we're doing, but you could also heat it up and do it warm, it's gonna hold up really nicely over time. And it's going to absorb that dressing we'll be making too. So then I have some cranberries in here, and I have some toasted pumpkin seeds. That's gonna add a nice crunch and some flavor there as well. So all of this is ready to go here, and we just need to make our vinaigrette. So now let's do our vinaigrette, and I am doing an apple maple Dijon vinaigrette. So I have apple cider vinegar, Dijon, extra virgin olive oil, maple syrup, and then of course we'll put in some salt and pepper too. So we have our apple cider vinegar. I like to do a 1-to-1 ratio, and what that means, it's the same amount of vinegar as the same amount of oil. So it makes a slightly more acidic dressing. In a restaurant, it's typically more heavy on the oil. So you can use 2 parts oil and 1 part of the vinegar, or even 3 parts oil and 1 part vinegar. That's kind of up to you and how you like things to taste. But for our purposes today, I like my 1-to-1. So in goes the maple syrup, in goes our Dijon. And that Dijon, besides adding some nice flavor, that Dijon also is going to help emulsify this when I whisk it. So we're gonna put in some salt and some pepper. So now I'm just gonna whisk it together. And you can see it's getting a little bit thicker, a little bit emulsified, which is what we want. Beautiful. So it's a lot of dressing. So some people like dressing, some people don't. So you have a couple options here. One option is just to keep it separate and serve it together, and people can add on as much dressing as they like. Or if you want to make sure that Farro really soaks up some of that flavor, we're going to add about half of this and mix it in like so. You can put it in the fridge for a little while, let it really marinate it and soak it up for about a half hour. And then we can serve it just like this, again, with the rest of the dressing on the side. So, amazing, right? Super delicious, really easy, beautiful colors, all sorts of great, delicious, nutritious foods in here. It's gonna look beautiful on your table for Thanksgiving or the holidays, or even as a nice weekday dinner. And you could pair it with some rotisserie chicken or some other things, and you're good to go. So, once again, this is my beet and butternut salad. I'm Abby, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.